Welcome to H360 Health Talk. My name is Dave Duplay, and joining me here at the table this afternoon is the founder of Averys Hope, Caryl Harris, along with Tom Corrigan, who is the treasurer of Averys Hope. Guys, thanks for coming to the table. Tom, I don't want to put you on the spot. You did mention you work for a pharmaceutical company, and I know there's pharmaceutical companies that focus specifically in the area of rare disease. And then others take a broader approach and are looking for products and therapies for maybe larger conditions. And is yours an organization that focuses in the rare disease area?
We do. In fact, a mission for a long time of ours has been to focus on unmet medical need. And in my role, I'm a finance person. I'm not a scientist. I don't have a medical background, and I am certainly not a fundraiser or a nonprofit expert. However, in my role, I see decisions made every day that are not financially driven, they're nothing but the science. And working for a company that focuses on unmet medical need has been my motivation. Similar foreshadowing in my career was to get into the oncology arena. So my company has more than just oncology. We're outside, we have all different indications that we follow. So I've been now working in oncology for the last several years. And so it's just like all of my passions have combined into my experiences today to bring me to the point where when my brother called me and told me that my 2-year-old nephew at the time had a rare cancer, it was shocking, and I felt like ready for it, to help and just try to be an uncle for him.
So when that call came, obviously you must have naturally turned to Caryl and talk to her about it. But what are some of the other things that you did to either bring yourself up to speed or to really look at the landscape of what Carson was diagnosed with?
Yeah, interestingly enough, we Googled. I Googled on the phone with my brother that evening for several hours. It's frightening, to be honest with you, especially in the case of a rare disease. We were reading articles about age diagnosis, meaning if you're below 1, your chances are this, and if you're between 1 and 9, your chances are this, and if it's above 9, and we're sitting there struggling. Well, Carson, we thought he had, the typical colic baby syndrome, so maybe he had it since he was born, and we don't know, and now he's 1.5 or almost 2. So what age are we following percentage-wise? And I remember having those conversations, and of course, as an uncle and a brother, I'm gearing him towards the ones with the best percentages, but my brother's an engineer, he's a pretty smart guy, so there were some realistic conversations happening on the phone that night as well, and really just to move forward and what's next was our main focus.
I want to hit on a point that I think is so important because companies like yours that look at unmet need, whether it's affordability, accessibility, bringing new therapies to market. One of the most important things about that is getting people into clinical trials, because there's no therapy that comes to market that's approved by the FDA, which allows doctors to administer that therapy until it's proven to be effective and safe. And we work with a lot of organizations. At Averys Hope, do you also look at that and try to understand, what are some of the therapies that might be coming down the pike, and how do we make sure that we can find patients and get them enrolled? Because in rare disease, a clinical trial could be the last hope that somebody has. And I know in oncology, I have a lot of friends that have been enrolled in clinical trials, and the course of therapy they were on, which was the standard of care for today, wasn't working for them. And a clinical trial, in fact, saved their life.
So interestingly, with rare GI disease, there really is no clinical trial coming up. There are research organizations that are being funded by a wonderful organization called TKO Foundation, started by the parents of somebody else with a child with microvillus inclusion disease. But realistically, because the villi in the small intestine is actually missing, Currently, the only treatments, if you're looking for a cure, would be transplantation, which doesn't always work. And really, with a lot of these rare GI diseases, it's really about maintaining a quality of life. It's about, where are those nutrients going to come from? Will that child be able to thrive and grow? It's about medications and the way in which they're delivered, but it's not yet about an FDA-approved drug or a clinical trial. We're not there yet.
I noticed you recently have a partnership with St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Tell me how that came about.
St. Jude's Children's Hospital actually came about. They're the hospital treating my nephew currently. So working with Caryl in Avery's Hope, we partnered with a local free community-based run club that I had joined from day one from a friend who started it about just over 2 years ago today. We partnered with the run club and the people who supported me there to do a virtual 5K run.
A virtual
Yes, a virtual 5K run, which is exactly the reaction I had when I first heard about this.
Yeah.
Then participated in one, and then of course now coordinated and ran one. So a virtual 5K run is basically where you do a 5K run on the honor system wherever you are on the planet and whenever you can have the time to do it. And so what we decided to do, we're not experts in doing this kind of thing as a run club or as a charity. So what we decided to do was a virtual run so that we didn't have to deal with the coordination or organization aspects of, police, route closures, all this stuff.
Sure.
So weather, anything.
Yeah.
So the way we did this was we did a virtual run globally. We ended up with 5 countries and over 16 U.S. states represented in the runners, 108 people total.
Wow.
We did it in honor of Rare Disease Day, which was the 20th of February.
Yeah.
So, and then what we did as an extra special thing was we fundraised in New Hope, the town where Avery's Hope is also based, as well as Caryl and I live. And we got a few businesses together to sponsor an in-person run. So on the normal Tuesday night run for the Run Club that we do every Tuesday, 7 p.m., same thing, we picked one night, the week of Rare Disease Week, the Tuesday of Rare Disease Week, and we actually had a in-person run for those people who wanted to participate in that virtual aspect, but run as a group. So we ended up having 34 people show up at the run in person. A few businesses donated some giveaways to entice people to show up. We shared a beer afterward at one of the local restaurants.
Not a virtual beer, I hope.
Not a virtual beer. The only thing about the virtual aspect was the runners.
Okay.
But what was really interesting and neat, and I don't think Caryl and I, neither one of us expected to be embraced the way we did. The morning of the virtual run, we started getting pictures and emails from people all over the globe.
It was amazing.
Of people participating in the run.
And where was the furthest person?
I don't know geography-wise the furthest, but we had someone from Vienna who took a picture of themselves on a treadmill with the Avery's Hope Run registration page showing on her iPad. And she sent it in from Vienna.
How awesome was it?
It was amazing.
Does that not bring a tear to your eye?
Absolutely.
It was
when you
really
look at that?
Cool. It was one of the best things I think I've accomplished in my life from my personal side.
Yeah.
For sure.
So we have a cycler, we have a runner, all we need is a swimmer.
He's all 3, so we're good.
I'm all 3, I just haven't turned the swimming into anything. Yeah.
So triathlon in your future to raise money?
Yes, I do triathlons. I have my first one coming in July this year.
Awesome. That is great. So if somebody wants to find Avery's Hope, where can we find you?
So we have a wonderful website. It's Averys, Averys, -hope.org. And lots of information is on our website, along with a lot of resources. You can also find us on Bike Reg if you're interested in the bike ride. I'm going to give my little plug.
Yep.
The ride is called #CaringForRare, Bicycling Event Weekend. We have on Saturday, the 14th, it's a family-friendly towpath ride along the Delaware River. And then on Sunday, we have a 100-miler, a 62-miler, and a 31-miler. It's a beautiful tour through Hunterdon County in New Jersey, as well as Bucks County, PA. And we just added, because we had such success with the new Hope Run Club, we just added a virtual component to the ride, so that if you're anywhere on the planet and you'd like to ride as much as you'd like, we'd love to have you join us.
Now, if somebody can't get out to the run or the biking event in the fall, but they want to get involved, how can somebody get involved with your organization if they want to either donate time or donate something to the cause?
Yeah, please just reach out to us. Go to our website. Both our email is there. There's also a donation spot on the website, but do reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. And if it's something that you have a passion about and you'd like to join us, we would love to have you. It's interesting, in the past year, we've actually gotten some emails from families across the world with children just newly diagnosed. And because not everybody is aware of the disease, they wanted to know where to go, where do you get answers? And I was really very proud that we were able to point them in the right direction.
So how is Avery doing?
Right now, he's doing really, really well. He's now 4.5 years old. He's starting to catch up in height and weight. The disease does not kill these children. What kills them is the treatment that they have to receive in order to get nutrients. They have an IV, a port, or in his case, a Broviac, and sometimes infections happen. And that's the real fear with this disease, because it can be maintained. There are just some scary issues along the way.
And Tom, your nephew, how is he doing?
My nephew's doing okay. He's one of the most courageous people, never mind just children, that I know. Some minor setback at the moment. So he's got 2 rounds of chemo in this treatment plan, and then we'll do a scan, and that hopefully happens sometime in mid to late May. So that's where our prayers are at the moment, my family.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. The work you're doing means so much to so many. I want to thank you once again, and I look forward to keeping track of all the fundraising you're doing, participating in your organization, and learning more about it as we go forward.
Thanks so much.